Saturn is the second largest planet in our solar system, and the sixth planet from the Sun. Known as the jewel of the solar system, it has been an object of fascination for scientists and astronomers alike, primarily because of the beautiful rings around it. Let's watch 10 amazing facts about Saturn on Lab 360 today. 1. Saturn's rings. One of the most fascinating features of Saturn is its distinctive rings. The rings are not solid, but made up of chunks of ice, rock, and carbonaceous dust, all believed to have come from comets or asteroids that broke apart before reaching Saturn. The rings are composed of billions of particles that range in size from dust grains to large mountains. The rings extend as far out as 120,700 kilometers, or 75,000 miles, from the planet, but are surprisingly very thin, only about 20 meters in thickness. How do these rings remain intact and in place? This responsibility lies with Saturn's smaller moons. Known as shepherding, the smaller moons orbit on either side of the rings and use gravity to keep them in shape and in their circular track. Interestingly, early astronomers believed Saturn's rings to be moons. It was only in the 17th century that Dutch astronomer Christian Huygens declared them as rings after observing the planet from a superior telescope. 2. Saturn's disappearing rings. Saturn's famous rings often mysteriously disappear, a fact that has baffled scientists for ages. As Saturn's axis is tilted, we see the changing positions of the planet, while it orbits slowly around the Sun. Sometimes the beautiful rings are there for all to see, and other times they just seem to disappear. In reality, they only appear to disappear. They are in fact just fading away, only to come back in all their glory. This phenomenon was observed last in 2004 to 2005, and is likely to happen again in 2024 to 2025. 3. Saturn's density and atmosphere. Saturn, unlike Earth, is made up of gases. Classified as a gas giant, the atmosphere primarily contains hydrogen and helium, which are lighter than air. Because of this particular composition of gases, Saturn is less dense than water. It is, in fact, the only planet in our solar system to have this unique feature. Saturn has a density of 0.687 grams per cubic centimetre, which is less than water, with 1 gram per cubic centimetre, and Earth, with 5.52 grams per cubic centimetre. If we were to find an ocean large enough to fit Saturn, we would see it floating like a ball in water. The planet's low density also means that it has no solid surface, nor a real landmass. This makes it impossible to stand on Saturn. The gases on the planet exist in layers that keep getting denser as you move farther into the planet. Deep inside, the hydrogen becomes metallic, and at the core, it is very hot. Winds in Saturn's atmosphere can reach speeds of up to 500 meters per second. Made up of gases, liquids, and ammonia crystals, these winds, when combined with the heat emanating from the planet's core, cause the appearance of yellow and gold bands. 4. Saturn's distance, visibility, and size. Saturn is the most distant planet that can be seen with the naked eye. In fact, it is credited with being the 5th brightest object in the solar system. Saturn's volume is greater than 760 Earths, and it is the second biggest planet in the solar system, about 95 times Earth mass. It is also the flattest planet, with its polar diameter being 90% of its equatorial diameter. This is attributed to its low density and fast rotation. 5. Saturn's rotation on its axis and orbit around the Sun. Saturn rotates on its axis once every 10 hours, 32 minutes and 35 seconds. Interestingly, because of Saturn's low density and lack of solid surface, astronomers found it hard to measure the speed of rotation. They had to therefore measure the planet's magnetic field to finally establish the rotational speed of Saturn. While it rotates fast, its orbit around the Sun is slow. It takes the planet 29.4 years to orbit around the Sun. Because of its slow movement, it earned the name Lubad Sagush, which means oldest of the old in ancient Assyria. 6. Saturn's moons. With 82 moons and several more moonlets, Saturn has the highest number of moons amongst all planets. In fact, Saturn beat Jupiter's record of 79 moons when in 2019, a team led by Carnegie's Scott S. Shepard found 20 new moons orbiting Saturn. All these moons are, however, characterized as frozen worlds. Some of these moons are huge, Titan and Rhea being among them. With a width of 3,402 miles, or 5,475 kilometers, Titan is almost as big as Canada. Made up of water ice and rock, the frozen surface of Titan is covered with liquids of methane and the landscape with frozen nitrogen. 7. Saturn's storms. If storms were given a shape, Saturn's storms would be oval. Every 29 to 30 years, Saturn hosts a megastorm. Much like Earth's hurricanes and typhoons, Saturn's storms are seasonal but last for a longer period of time. They kick up water vapor and other materials from a depth of 100 miles or 160 kilometers below the cloud tops. The seasonal storm is also known as the Great White Spot. The name has its origins in the water vapor which rises up and freezes, causing a whiteness in the storm. 8. Trips to Saturn. Saturn has had the distinction of being visited and studied by 4 spacecrafts: Pioneer 11, Voyager 1, Voyager 2, and the Cassini-Huygens mission. The last Cassini voyage lasted from July 2004 until September 2017. It brought back a huge amount of data that has helped scientists demystify this fascinating planet a little bit more. 9. Saturn was well known even in ancient times. Saturn was well known even in ancient times. In ancient Rome, Saturn was named after the Roman god Saturnus, and in ancient Greece it was called Cronus. Saturday, which is the only day of the week that has retained its Roman origins, is named after the Roman god and planet Saturn. In an ancient Indian astronomy text, Surya Siddhanta from the 8th century BCE, Saturn is not only mentioned in the writings, but its diametrical dimensions are almost accurately stated. Saturn is also depicted as the Lord of Justice, or Shani, in Indian mythology. 10. Life near Saturn? From all that we have seen so far, Saturn seems like quite a hostile and inhospitable planet. However, there might be a remote possibility of life close to Saturn. Interestingly, NASA's Cassini spacecraft discovered ice geysers spouting out of the south pole of Saturn's moon, Enceladus. That means there must be some process keeping the moon warm enough to have water in liquid form below the ocean's frozen surface. If there is liquid water, perhaps there is life. What do you think? Saturn is truly one of the most fascinating planets in our solar system. Do you know any more fun facts about Saturn? Do tell us in the comments below. Keep watching Lab 360 for more interesting videos on space. Click the bell icon and subscribe today.